Myth here, giving you guys the week 10 recap. We had some interviews. We will also do um, let's see. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna do the incentive check, and then we're going to do the recap for week 10. Um, UCF already ineligible. Miami and SMU. Let's see what happened with that game. Nobody really communicated. Miami, SMU. All right, so we got some incentive questions. Um, I'm gonna wait till Cooper get back, but we're not gonna hold this recap up. We'll do the incentive check right after we do this recap. So it looked like I'm gonna have to lay the hammer down. Texas Tech did communicate with us. He did have proof of why he played computer 4 times. The game kept desyncing, so he had no other choice but to continually try to play. He had proof, so he's good. Texas, on the other hand, there is some word about um, his kid started a game on his Nncfl, but I'm gonna have to have proof of that. You know, that's the only way he's going to be eligible, and I'm going to get to the bottom of that um, after this recap. Um, it's looking bad for you, man. Notre Dame defeated Boston College 63-14. Duke and Clemson, user and user. We will take a look at both of these users. I want to say I did interview both of these guys. Let me get the interview up. So Duke. Um, oh yeah, so we did have both of these guys interviewed. Um, all right, so we take a look at the box score. We see that Clemson and Duke, 52-10, completely lopsided. Take a look at the turnover battle. 1-0, only one time. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik, 4 TDs. They ran the ball well, 1 TD. Oh, wow, the quarterback was able to run for over 100 yards. Damn. Receivers played great. The spotlight was just too big for Duke. That's all it was. But let's take a listen here what Duke has to say about this beatdown.
Stephen A., thanks for having me on here. Never been one to shy away from the media, never been one to shy away from the tough questions, never been one to shy away from the critics. We aren't mad here in Durham, North Carolina. In fact, we're quite encouraged. We're encouraged at the signs that we showed once we figured out their defensive game plan. We're excited at the potential of a new offensive coordinator because we did fire Coach Spacey because of the fact that we just started out too slow. We started out too sluggish in the majority of our games this year. And we're curious as to see if the next offensive coordinator that we've already extended an offer to is going to leave us hanging or if he's going to accept. If he accepts, mark my words, he's going to be a killer offensive coordinator. Now, about the game last night, there's some great things that we can take from it. Rush defense, again, fantastic. Corners, again, fantastic. Kept everything underneath. The Darian Mensah, he wasn't bad. He was not bad. I'm pleased at how he led our guys when we could have folded. He had them driving in the fourth quarter to make it a more respectable score. All in all, had you told me that we were going to go 11-2 because we will run the table after that loss, had you told me that we were going to go 11-2 coming into this first season in Duke or at Duke, Coach Combs would have been happy. So, how are we feeling? Encouraged, disappointed, but encouraged. Reminder, there's one thing and one thing only, and I've said this from the jump, and I'll say this until the end. Come and get it.
So that was Duke OJ speaking out about the game. Completely lopsided. Well, let's take a listen to hear what Clemson had to say. Let's get to it.
What's up, Stephen A? Hey, man. Game overall was good for Clemson. We had been hearing the chirping from the Duke side. They were talking some stuff about how they thought they could upset us, but I knew them coming into my house, I would have the home field advantage on our side. Went up big early, was pretty much dominating on both sides of the ball, and then he ended up scoring and making it 24-7 with a double pass by the running back. Second half, his defense was a lot better. I found it hard to run, but he just couldn't get anything going. My defense, especially up front, was just super solid and dominating, rushing the passer and stopping the run. And Cade Kovnak, my quarterback, made some amazing throws in tight windows to the wide receivers.
All right, so you had a chance to hear what Clemson had to say about the game. As I said before, this is definitely player of the week. I'm sure that's what we're going to see in a minute. Ran the ball well, threw the ball well, had receivers. I mean, it couldn't have been any better statement that was sent from Clemson to Duke after the noise talking. Next up we had was USC and Nebraska. I didn't interview neither one of those guys this week. Just making sure. All right, so as we can see, USC lost this game 34-13, back-to-back losses. USC just not there yet. Nebraska won this game 34-13. Taking a look at the box score, we can clearly see it was completely lopsided for most of this game. USC has a tough time scoring points to get the game started out. In the first half, they just can't get it done. Nebraska quarterback threw 3 TDs. That's Patrick Mahomes 2.0. They didn't run the ball well. Their wide receivers definitely played great. Dane Key, 7 catches, 118 yards, 1 TD. Ja'Cory Barney had a TD. And then Isaiah Hunter had a TD as well. So overall, they played great. USC had some receivers that was able to do some things. They just couldn't get anything going defensively. They couldn't make stops. So congratulations to Nebraska on the win. Oklahoma beats Tennessee 19-16. Then we had user South Carolina and Ole Miss. I did interview both of these guys. Very, very close game. Ole Miss was able to win this game 47-44. Taking a look at the box score, you guys can see the game was tight for the most part, 21-30. And then that second half, Ole Miss was able to capitalize in the third and fourth quarter. South Carolina did make a late comeback rally. That fourth quarter, 21 points. but they just couldn't get anything going. Let's take a listen to hear what South Carolina has to say about this matchup.
Yeah, like you said, I'm really proud of this team and how they fought. We got a lot of good guys here who definitely don't give up. But the overall assessment is that there's disappointment in that locker room. We thought that we had the better team, but we didn't show it. We made way too many mistakes. Our defense came up big in the fourth, but you can't be down and always expect to come back. And offensively, we just threw that game away. Near the end, had chance in field goal range to tie, and Sellers could have just ran out of bounds. Instead, he went cross-body, inaccurate throw, game over. So we're a young team. We're still figuring it out. But, I mean, in a tough SEC, there's no excuses. So we're going to have to come back and figure some things out. But, again, like you said, I like the grit of this team. I like the way we're set up. So only positive things going forward.
Yeah, I definitely like what was said by South Carolina. Their ability to fight every single game, week after week. This is a team that been playing very good football the last 3-4 weeks, and so they are a team that you just can't overlook. Let's take a listen to hear what Ole Miss had to say after the victory. Ole Miss has been a team that reminded me a lot of Texas A&M. Just can't win the big games, and this was one of the games they finally was able to come over the hump. Let's take a listen to hear what he had to say.
Hey, what's going on, Stephen? Hey, man, it's always good to hear from you, my brother. Let's jump right into it, man. That South Carolina game was a dog fight, man. It was a playoff game, pretty much. We've been having playoff games in the SEC since about week 5 when we played LSU. That was a playoff game. It was just a dog fight, man. We jumped out 14-0, but that didn't mean anything because we know no lead is safe in college. So we just tried to stick to the game plan. We continue to have that lead. On first half, had a big play right before first half, and got back out to a 9-point lead at halftime. Third quarter, we was moving the ball a little bit. Then towards the third, it got kind of stagnant. Fourth quarter, come around, they scored quickly as soon as the fourth quarter hit. We get the ball back. We don't do anything with it. We had to punt, and he ended up coming back scoring again, tying it up. So, these games, man, it's just all about momentum. It's all about who can make a play at the right time. And luckily, my guys made enough plays to get the game at the end. Looking at the stats, we ran the ball for 23 rushes for only 18 yards. That is unacceptable. Once again, we could not run the ball. So we have to rely on Simmons, put the ball in his hand more, and unfortunately, he made a few mistakes off that. So those are things that we just have to address moving forward. We have a game coming up this week, and we have a game against Florida the week after. So that's a huge game. Already looking ahead into that one. And we just trying to make sure we just, not beating ourselves at the end of the day. So we want to stay eligible for the playoffs and the bowl games.
So you guys just heard Ole Miss speak out about this matchup, and I agree with him 100%. It really comes down to momentum, limiting mistakes, unnecessary mistakes to help your opponent. All those things play a role into these games. Auburn lost to Kentucky 13-0. With no surprise, man, computer definitely find ways to win. Taking a look at the Georgia versus Florida game, I don't think I interviewed either one of those guys this week. Nope. Florida is ineligible anyway. Georgia won this game 31-28. Taking a look at the box score, pretty much a tight game all throughout. Florida really couldn't get anything going outside of that second quarter. Other than that, they was pretty much shut out in the second half. Georgia played great defense in the second half. They also was able to create one turnover from Florida. DJ Lagway DJ Lagway definitely plays good football each week, but Georgia shows why they're a powerhouse. They are number one ranked in the recruiting, and so it's no surprise to see that all that translate over to the game. Then we had Arizona State and BYU. Let's see, we interviewed those guys. BYU, Arizona State. All right, so we didn't interview neither one of these. BYU did win 28-26, 2 points victory. Turnover battle was 1-1. Taking a look at the box score, we can see that they got out to a 14-7 first half. And then in that second half, it was pretty much tight throughout the game. Really wasn't nobody pulling away in that matchup. In this matchup, Arizona State quarterback threw 4 TDs, one interception. BYU 344, 4 TDs. They traded interceptions. So it was pretty much high scoring offensive type of game. Well, actually, 28 is not high scoring, but 28-26 was a pretty good old school style game. So I definitely like what I was able to see in that one. Let's see. Um, BYU. Washington won 28-13. Ohio State and Penn State. I did interview both of these guys. As we can see, Penn State is continuing to roll through these games, showing why they're top five right now in the Nncfl. The first half was tight. It was looking like it was going to be a tight game, 21-12. And then in that second half, they both went scoreless. Fourth quarter, they traded touchdowns. And so what really dictated this game simply is because Penn State outscored them in that second quarter. Turnover battle, 1-2. So let's take a listen to hear what who won that game, Penn State. So let's take a listen to hear what the loser had to say, and that was Ohio State. I don't think I interviewed him. No, so we'll take a listen to hear what um, Coop had to say about Penn State.
Hey, man. First off, great win in the shoe. Always one of the toughest places to play in the country. First play of the game, Singleton fumbled, gave Ohio State the ball deep in my territory. Thankfully, our defense was able to pick up the offense and hold them to just a field goal. I kind of got away from the run early after that fumble and was finding some success through the air, so I stuck with that for a good chunk of the game. I wasn't super pleased with how the offense played as a whole, but I think a good bit of that has to do with being on the road and struggling to get audibles and hot routes sent in due to the crowd noise. We started to run away with it in the second half, and I was able to just keep everything underneath on defense, trying to avoid the big play and kind of just milk the clock on the ground as much as I could. Really proud of how we played on the road this week, and we are on to USC and hopefully locking up a spot in the Big Ten championship game. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so as I said before, Penn State been rolling every single week. We will come back at the end of this video to check the incentives because we have Texas in question, and I think that's it. Let me make sure. UCF ineligible. The Miami game. SMU is on vacation until August 4th. Texas doesn't have proof because his kid did it, so he wouldn't have screamed, not trying to be rude, but there's a 0% chance he will compete. Yeah, he's ineligible. He's going to be still ineligible. Unfortunately, man, you got to be able to, it's part of discipline, your children, and so I understand things happen, but that's one right there where you will be ineligible. Yeah, and then Miami. All right, Miami. All right, let me see about Miami. All right, Miami is already ineligible, I think. Let me make sure. Let me check the incentives list real quick. Texas is now ineligible. And I want to see about Miami. Miami. Okay, Miami is ineligible too. Not here to play games, man. Not here to play games. Hold on. SMU is on vacation. So they sim for Miami. Okay, so he got the free win. Never mind. Miami is still eligible. My bad. Let me make sure everything else clear. All right, so Texas, man, you ineligible. So now we are going to college football top 25. Georgia, Penn State, Clemson, Texas, Notre Dame, LSU, Nebraska, Kansas State, Florida, and Alabama. We can see a lot of changes being made. LSU moved up a couple spots. North Carolina, Florida State, Colorado, Ole Miss, Navy, Washington, Texas A&M, Michigan, Texas Tech, and Arizona State. Um, Colorado moved up a little bit. Ole Miss moved up a little bit. And then we have South Carolina, Ohio State, BYU, Michigan State, UCLA, Duke has failed out of the top 25. Once again, has yet proven why they should be nationally respected. Taking a look at the college football playoff bracket. Let's see. If it was to start right now, what would we have? My fault. Come on, EA. Come on, man. So once this comes up, we will see what the playoffs will look like if it was to start right now. All right. Navy, Notre Dame. Then we will have Florida, Kansas State, North Carolina, LSU, Bama, Nebraska, Texas, Georgia, Clemson, and Penn State. Unfortunately, man, Texas is out. I mean, yeah, he would be a conference. Man, I hate to do it to you, but I hate to do it to you, man. You didn't, man, I hate to do it to you. Taking a look at the conference standings. ACC, we got Clemson, Florida State, right now, pretty much battling it out. In the American, you got Navy. Big 12, you got Kansas State, Colorado, Texas Tech, UCF, BYU. Big 10, you got Penn State, Nebraska, Michigan State, Michigan. CUSA, you got Florida International, Jacksonville State. FBS Independence, you got Notre Dame. In the MAC, you got Miami and Central Michigan. MWC, you got Boise State, Hawaii, Colorado State. Pac-12, you got Oregon State. SEC, man, the SEC is so unpredictable, but you got Georgia, who's looking like a for sure SEC leader. Then you got LSU, Texas. But like I say, Texas didn't communicate, man. I didn't see anybody communicate in the CPU thread. So you're ineligible. I don't care what Koopy say. I don't care what anybody say. You're ineligible because I looked at the thread and you did not communicate. Only one person communicated, and that was Z the Truth. So I ain't changing that, man. I'm not. You should have communicated. Hey, man, my kid, you know, played the game. I need to play it again, and then that would have been that. But the fact that you didn't communicate that, it's on you, man. Everybody's held accountable. Nobody gets favorites, and you my dog, but you're ineligible. Sun Belt, we got James Madison, Louisiana, and South Alabama. I hate to do it, man, especially to teams that are fighting for playoff potential spots. But that's just the way it is. We're not going to start it here, and it's, especially in the GFSSL league, neither. Everything is going to have a rule aligned. Jay Johnson, 11 total tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup, 1 TD. Wow, so both South Carolina players was it was players of the week. Then you got Nick Harbor, 13 receptions, 254 receiving yards, 19.5 average, 3 receiving TDs, 1 carry, 7 rushing yards, and then 7.0 average. The Heisman watch right now, let's take a look and see what happened. Yes. Okay, so now we got Emmett Johnson moved down a slot. Nick Harbour moved up. Kanye Udo moved down. He was up number 2. Jeremiah Love moved up the slot, and Nicholas Singleton is still looking like he's trying to lead. He's still leading. Award watch list. We're not going to go through this because we did do that last week. So I just want to see if anything changed. Nicholas still ahead. Nicholas Walter Camp, Bear Bryant, Brian Newberry, the Dave O'Brien. We'll definitely stay up to date with these. Um, Nothing really pretty much changed. Everything looks the same. I do see that Nicholas Singleton is winning a lot of awards. So that's definitely good. Then they also like they're going to win the national championship if they keep playing the way they're playing. Harold Perkins Jr., I did see his name a lot last week, so I only seen it once now. So it looks like Penn State is trying to be the highest paid um, in the Nncfl, man, because he's not only winning awards, but he's trying to win the whole thing. So taking a look at the recruiting, and then we're gonna play the computer and get the computer out. Because if I don't play the computer, then I'm ineligible. You know what I'm saying? Now you guys probably asking how can you ineligible yourself, but I would do something to punish myself, like maybe I don't play in the playoffs or something. So Georgia, Penn State, LSU, Alabama, and Florida in the top 5. Georgia did have 6 5 stars. Washington, Texas A&M moved in the top 10. Taking a look and see what had changed. Okay, so they just were able to recruit and sign Courtney Meadows and then Oscar Fredo. Let's see, 6'2", 289 from Dallas, Texas. So those are some big signings that helped them leap into the top 10. I guess they've been hearing me discredit them in the recruiting ranking. UCLA, North Carolina, and Michigan in the top 10. Very good list right there. I don't see USC. USC been talking about rebuilding their team after these big losses, so you're gonna have to be able to do that. Clemson and Florida State games of the week for Week 11. I'm gonna go with Clemson. I do think they're gonna be able to protect their home crowd, Death Valley, and then you got LSU. Speaking of Death Valley, but they're gonna be on the road playing against Bama, Nick Saban's field. Game of the week, big time. Probably one of the biggest games of the Nncfl. You got Z the Truth going against Mike, 2 sim users. Mike is capable of winning on the road. I'm not gonna say he can't go in there and beat Bama at home. It's going to be a hell of a hard game, but I'm going to go with LSU upset. Um, Navy and Notre Dame, I'm going Notre Dame. UCLA and Nebraska, I'm going to go with Nebraska for the upset. So, once again, as I said before, man, appreciate everybody. Unfortunately, um, like I say, man, it's a simple rule. Play your computer games. If you play it more than one time, at least communicate it in the CPU threads. That's what they're for. Only one person or 2 people uh, commented in the CPU thread. So I didn't say anything. I just said, okay, I'm going to keep it in my head when this week advance. If we have an excuse in the CPU, then I'm going to lay the hammer. So I'm laying the hammer. Texas is officially ineligible from incentives. And we'll see how this rolls for week 11. Take care, man. See you guys later. And it's not personal, man. Just do your job. Till next time. Peace.